selfie conmigo para subirlo al Instagram. Dice que no pendiente para ver cuántos likes me dan. No la tengo leía, ella se reía porque sabe que después de aquí ella es mi
La llevé de shopping, la vestí de diamante. La que la mire seguro le ve envidia. Y tiene corte de calle pero luce elegante. Esa es mi nena que le gusta fichuria. La llevé de shopping, la vestí de diamante. La que la mire seguro le ve envidia. Y tiene corte de calle pero luce elegante. Esa es mi nena que le gusta fichuriar.
Lo vuelve loco con su Mira que bonita es.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2018 Convocation Red Carpet Preview. I am Galisa Robledo, a senior at Weslaco High School.
And I am Annalisa Salinas, a senior at Weslaco East High School. We are getting the fun started here at the PAC, where we'll be visiting with some of our guests. As they continue to arrive, we have the drumline outside getting everyone pumped for the event.
Our theme for this year's convocation is Read, Dream, Achieve. And Dr. Priscilla Canales, our superintendent, is here to talk a little bit more about the theme. Morning, Dr. Canales.
Good morning, Weslaco ISD.
So tell me a little bit about the theme for this year's convocation.
Well, our theme is Read, Dream, Achieve. Last year, we began with Lit for Literacy. So we added to that. With the power of reading and talking about things that we're reading and writing, we begin to dream. And when we dream, great things happen. And that leads to achievement. So we're excited about our theme. Read, Dream, Achieve, Weslaco ISD.
Dr. Canales, what are you most looking forward to for this upcoming school year?
Just everything about it. The academic performance, the excitement that happens in the classroom, on the field, on the courts, on the trails, in the band halls, just the whole complete educational program, and us continuing as one team, providing the best for students.
Dr. Canales, we know you're an avid reader. What's some of your favorite books?
I have several. I love children's books. But I also, every now and then, dive into topics about science and math just to expand my mind and ideas. I love reading articles that come out, and every time I do, staff says stop, because that leads to even more ideas and more dreams for us as a team in Weslaco ISD.
Thank you, Dr. Canales. We look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thank you.
Let's send it over to Annalisa for another guest.
Well, this morning I have the Elementary Teacher of the Year, the magical Miss Veronica Villegas from Northbridge Elementary. So tell us, what is it about the new school year that you were looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to everything, a fresh start, getting to meet my third graders, working with my third grade team, and of course just being at my school. I really like being there. We're a family.
What is it about teaching that you enjoy so much?
I enjoy the process, you know, the journey of where we start, everything that we have to do throughout the year to make sure that we're growing, both the children and myself, and just at the end how we get to celebrate all of our achievements.
What do you think about the theme, Read, Dream, Achieve?
I think it's very fitting. I think each one of those words goes hand in hand with each other. When you give someone the gift of reading, it opens up to inspiration and dreaming, and I think anyone who's inspired can achieve anything.
Okay, I feel like I know the question here, but what is your favorite book?
You know, I have so many, but lately I would have to say that the Harry Potter books, simply because I can share them with my third graders. And this is going to be the third year that we'll be doing it. It takes us the entire year to get through book 1 and 2, and as you can see, we get pretty serious about it. And it's just very fulfilling to see them get so engaged and committed to the story. It's just, it's awesome, and it's also a good excuse to buy awesome props.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's send it back over to Callista.
There's a lot of excitement here at the PAC as we bring in another guest, WISD's Fine Arts Coordinator, Mr. Ron Bissett. Mr. Bissett, tell me a little bit about the entertainment we will have at today's convocation.
Well, our students have been preparing for today for several weeks. You're going to see all levels perform, elementary, middle school, high school. We have soloists. We have a brass choir. I'm going to leave some of the surprises for you to see live, but you're in for a real treat.
Mr. Bissett, I understand that this year is going to be a little bit different for the Weslaco Panther Corps and the Wildcat Regiment because Pigskin is going to be held here in Weslaco. And hasn't it been a while since Weslaco has hosted the event?
It's actually been since 2007 that we hosted Pigskin here in Weslaco. But yes, the Wildcat Regiment and the Panther Corps will have home field advantage in October. Pigskin will be on October 20th. We are also hosting our Weslaco ISD Marching Band Festival on October 13th. And we have bands already signed up from Laredo all the way to Brownsville coming to our festival.
And Mr. Bissett, what are you most looking forward to for this upcoming school year?
Making our fine arts department even better. We started a lot of new initiatives this past year. We're going to start even more this coming year, but I just want everything to go bigger and better and just really have a strong foundation in the arts at our district.
Thank you, Mr. Bissett.
Thank you.
Let's send it over to Annalisa.
Thanks, Callista. Earlier today, we had the chance to speak to the Secondary Teacher of the Year, Ms. Edna Comancho de la Cruz, and here's what she had to say about the new school year.
School year. Tell me, what is it about the new school year you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to these students. I'm looking forward to seeing them grow, what they bring into the classroom. I love teaching English 2 pre-AP, and so I have a combination of both sophomores and freshmen. So it's going to be exciting.
Okay. What is it about teaching that you enjoy so much?
Again, the students. The connections that we make in the class, seeing them grow over the next 3-4 years, seeing how they can maybe start off the year not wanting to read or not being excited and loving the class, loving the books. Yeah, that would be it.
Tell me about the theme, Read, Dream, Achieve. What do you think about the theme?
Read, dream, achieve. That's the purpose of books. Books open up different worlds. It opens up different characters, things that maybe you don't experience on a daily basis in your own life. It allows you to connect and understand things that maybe you wouldn't experience. And from there, you're able to dream, have larger goals for yourself and achieve them. Yeah.
All right. Now, so what is your favorite book? What do you like to read?
That's a loaded question. I love reading children's books, young adult novels. It all started with comic books, and one of my favorite books is Matilda. And I wanted to be like her and love books as much as she did and gain as much knowledge as she was gaining. I love teaching my kids To Kill a Mockingbird or The Alchemist. That was their summer read. So it's a lot of books. You'd have to ask me maybe what do I like to read on a rainy day or going before bed or in the summer. There's so many. Mm-hmm.
Right now, we have the new principal at Weslaco East High School, Dr. David Gamboa. Dr. Gamboa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, it's a great feeling coming back to a campus where I spent 10 of my years of my educational years, so it's great to be back to being a Wildcat.
The theme this year is Read, Dream, Achieve, and what exactly does that mean to you?
Well, everybody has a dream, and in order for us to get there, we have to be able to prepare. So the fact that reading is key and critical in everybody's success, we have to be able to read to be able to dream and to be able to achieve the goals that we actually set ourselves out to.
One last question. What will be your main focus as the new principal at Weslaco East?
To make a difference, I want to make sure that I entrust the staff, I entrust the students, and actually meet the students so that they can know who is going to be there to support in every endeavor that they're going to actually be able to set themselves into.
Thank you, Dr. Gamboa.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun, right, Annalisa?
Sure was, and it looks like we're ready to take the show inside.
Everyone get ready to sit back, relax,
listen to some great speakers, be entertained, and win some prizes as we kick off the new school year
with the 2018 Convocation!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2018 Convocation, Read, Dream, Achieve, with one of America's most powerful and passionate communicators, Neil Jeffrey. Speakers today are Weslaco ISD Superintendent Dr. Priscilla Canales and Weslaco ISD School Board Vice President Oscar Caballero. MCs, Weslaco High School Senior Calista Robledo and Weslaco East High School Senior Analisa Salinas. Prizes sponsored by numerous businesses in the Weslaco and surrounding areas. Entertainment by Weslaco ISD students under the direction of Weslaco ISD Fine Arts Coordinator Ron Bissett. But first, a day in a life. We spend some time with a passionate staff member to discover the true meaning of what makes Weslaco ISD the right choice.
Today you'll be spending the day with me at work. That's what's going to happen today. And I just responded to 32 emails. Dun 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 dun. Okay, wait. So how old are you?
5.
And how old are you?
5.
Okay, guys, you guys are 5 and you're fighting over an 11-year-old? You're fighting over a 5th grade girl. Guys, seriously, girls are nothing but drama. You gotta get over it. Girls are trouble, guys.
Puro cowboy, papa. Puro Dallas Cowboys, homie. Puro Cowboys.
Hello, come in.
Yes, sir.
Can you come by the office as soon as possible?
10-4. You know what that means? I'm CPI certified, and it's time to bring down the law. Look, I get it. I really do. I get it. There's days you want to stay in bed, you don't want to get up, you don't want to come to school. I know. I feel that way sometimes too. But you're the teacher. What time is it? Jeez, what time is it? Yeah, Casanova speaking. Oh yeah, go ahead and send her in. Yeah, send her in. Parent meeting with mom. Oh boy, okay. What? Germ blast here. Well, hello there. That's it. It's 5 o'clock and it's time to go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my day. That's it. It's time to go home. We are done. We are done. Time to go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the stage the Weslaco ISD Brass Ensemble. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Good morning, WISD. I want a big hand for the brass ensemble consisting of band members from Weslaco East and Weslaco High School. Once again, under the direction of Ron Bissett. All right, so who's in the house here today? Let's hear it. I want y'all to make some noise. Is safety and security here today? Custodians here. Make some noise. Make some noise, people. Come on. All right, all right, all right. Let's go. Transportation. ACE program. Make some noise, people. ACE program. Got it. All right. Library services. Parental involvement. C&I department. Migrant department. All right, all right. We have federal programs. Evaluation and accountability. Way to go, Rick Flores. All right, how about our schools? Horton AEP, where you at? Northbridge Elementary. Ibada Elementary, where's your pride? Margo Elementary. Woo! Let's hear it for Rico Elementary. How about Airport Elementary? Mary Hogue Middle School. Cuellar Middle School. CTE Early College. And Eastside Strong Side Weslaco East High School. Okay, so before we go any further, we would like everyone to please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Weslaco East High School JROTC under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel L. Shane Fight. The national anthem will be played by the Weslaco ISD Brass Ensemble. Everyone, please be seated. Please be seated. And now for the invocation led by WISD Bilingual and ESL Director and Pastor Elias Trevino. Mr. Trevino.
Would you be so kind to bow your heads and let's pray, every eye closed. Father, we come before your mighty throne of glory. We honor and magnify your holy name this morning. I thank you, Lord God, for allowing us to come to a new year. Lord, we ask you to bless our superintendent, our board members, Lord God, our administrators, our teachers, and most especially, Lord God, our children. We ask you, Lord, that as they walk through our doors, our classroom doors, our schools, that we may be a pillar of strength for them, that we may be a river of encouragement, a fountain of knowledge. We ask you, Lord, for all our 17,000 students plus students that will come to our schools, that they may have a passion to learn. Lord, we ask you to give us strength to go through those difficult days and joy when we go through those darkest of valleys. Lord, without a doubt, we believe that the year of 2018-2019 will be the greatest year Weslaco ISD has ever experienced. For we know that you are our strength, Father, and for that we are grateful. Your word tells us that everything that we do, whether in word or in action, it must be done for your glory. So 2018-2019 is not about us, it's all about you. We ask you all this in the precious and mighty name of Jesus. And everyone says, amen.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor. How about another big hand for the brass ensemble as they leave the stage? And we'll have more entertainment for you later on as we continue on with the program. We also have plenty of prizes to give away. All your names have been put into a big barrel, and we're going to be drawing some names. And so we have plenty of prizes, televisions, gift cards, lots of things to give away. So good luck to everybody. We also have some dynamic speakers also. So it's going to be quite a morning here for you guys. All right, so right now we would like to turn it over to our two student MCs. You saw them out there on the red carpet. Let's welcome now them back onto the stage. Calista Robledo and Analisa Salinas.
And I am Analisa Salinas, a senior at Weslaco East High School. Now, how about we get things started with the Parade of Schools? We will start with Horton AAP, Principal Roger Perez, and Teacher of the Year, Rebecca Reina.
Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
SD Roosevelt, Principal Jennifer Luna, and Teacher of the Year, Norma Torres.
Don't get ahead, just jump into it. It's all to me, baby. I'm going down the list, crazy, crazy, whoa. This moves on my go, crazy, crazy.
From Northbridge Elementary, Principal Dan Budimir, Teacher of the Year, Veronica Villegas.
So baby, dry your eyes.
Alright, make some noise for Ibarra Elementary, Principal Linda Hernandez, and Teacher of the Year, Perla Lopez.
24-karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out! Pop, pop, it's
Up next, we have Margot Elementary, Principal Ruby Martinez, and Teacher of the Year, Maria Alba Cavazo.
dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Rico Elementary, Principal Jacqueline Padilla, and Teacher of the Year, Anandela Buenrostro.
Airport Drive Elementary, Principal Aida Cuadra, and Teacher of the Year, Viviana Rodriguez.
cosas al oído para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firma las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo humano.
Up next, we have Cuellar Middle School Principal Desi Rodriguez and Teacher here, Ricardo Sustaita.
Estamos claros y ya. No te lo voy a negar. Estamos claros y ya.
Now let's give a big round of applause for CTE, Early College High School, Principal Marcos Zamora and Teacher of the Year, Rosalinda Trevino.
You can't touch this. Can't touch this. My music is so hard, makes me say.
And last but certainly not the least, Weslaco East High School Principal Dr. David Gamboa, Teacher of the Year, Gumecindo Larev.
Here we go. It's about time now we set it off. Here we go. Red lights, I could never stop. A dreamer with the fever to be great was all I ever wanted. A fighter with the fever for the fame was all I ever wanted. Got me singing like bang, 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 bang. This fire's a weapon. Bang, 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 bang. Won't stop till we're legend.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Priscilla Canales.
Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world. He took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy.
And today we also have members of our administration. Today we'll be introducing members of the Superintendent's Cabinet. Michael De La Rosa, Director of Risk Management and Employee Benefits. Carlos Martinez, Director of Technology. Melva Seguda, Director of Human Resources. Oscar Riojas, Athletic Director. Assistant Superintendent of Business and Finance, Andres Sanchez. Assistant Superintendent of Administration and Support Services, Sergio Garcia. Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Education and Leadership, Ego Aguilar. And Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Education and Leadership, Sue Peterson. Now let's give one more big round of applause for everyone.
At this time, we would also like to recognize our school board. We have Trustee Patrick Kennedy, Trustee Dr. Jaime Rodriguez, Trustee Dr. Richard Rivera, Trustee Andrew Gonzalez, Board Secretary Isidoro Nieto, Board Vice President Oscar Caballero, and Board President Mr. Erasmo Lopez. Our board president, Mr. Lopez, regrettably can't be here today. Speaking on behalf of the board today, we have Vice President of the Weslaco ISD School Board, Mr. Oscar Caballero.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the 2018 convocation. You know, I know Mo couldn't make it today, so he's like, hey, you got to go up there and talk to all these wonderful people. And I'm not too much of a public speaker, you know, but I'm going to try my best here today. All right, so good morning, and I hope that you all had a great, wonderful summer with family and friends. I know I share a lot of Facebook friends with you guys, and I know you guys were having a blast in the summer, so welcome back. I am honored to have some time to speak to you guys on behalf of the Board of Trustees. My name is Oscar Caballero. I humbly serve as your board vice president and have two beautiful daughters that attend our wonderful district at Weslaco East. Yeah, way to go, East Side. I emphasize the word great. We, the board, are so excited about the great results achieved by our students in academics, athletics, and fine arts. In case you haven't heard, because of your commitment, our district now has 51 distinction designations, so give yourself a round of applause. Two years ago, we only had 16 distinctions. Increases like this only happens because of all of you working together for children. I like this year's theme, read, dream, achieve. It goes well with our vision to inspire and empower all students to reach their full, unique potential. On behalf of the board, we appreciate all of you and stand ready to support continued success in academics, arts, and athletics. Thank you for making Weslaco ISD the right choice. God bless you and have a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caballero. Our next guest speaker is the fearless leader of Weslaco ISD. When she is not in the office, you can find her out meeting with teachers and staff and reading to students. When staff members went block walking to talk to residents about enrolling at WISD, she was right there side by side visiting with residents about the benefits of WISD. You can see her commitment to the community when she stayed all day and night to make sure a shelter was available to the public during the June 20th flood. The next day, she and the cabinet were up early assessing the damage caused by the flood. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our superintendent, Dr. Priscilla Canales.
Good morning, Weslaco ISD. Okay, I don't know if I can get this thing to work. They said there's a green light. The problem is I can't see. Okay, I think it's on. Well, maybe not. Okay, yes it is. All right, so our theme, read, dream, achieve. I did grow up a small town girl in a time where we didn't have access but to 3 channels on TV. And I was a remote control. Many of you remember that, right? We also had, maybe if we were lucky, KTSA from San Antonio on AM radio. So as a young girl, I dreamed of the world, and I saw views of it on the world news. And what I did, because it was the early 70s, what I did was I read and got exposed to a world beyond even my grandest dreams. So last year, we began with a clear vision and a clear mission. And you heard a little bit. It's about inspiring and empowering students and each other to be the very, very best so that we contribute to others for a lifetime. Because that's the gift in life, giving to others. So proud of our vision and mission that came together after many, many people, including our students. The Student Advisory Committee for the Superintendent had a chance for input. Same thing with our goals. Okay, same thing with our goals. We have 5 goals. They're very, very little different from the year before. Our goals came together through collaboration and through teamwork. And lots of individuals had input. So first, we're still about student success with a literacy focus. And while last year we focused on read, literacy includes reading and writing. Writing is a physical evidence that critical thinking exists. Writing is a way to create meaning, of what's going on in science, in math, in social studies, in electives, on the field. So we still have student success, literacy focus. The change in this one is innovative programs that develop college, career, and service-ready leaders. Our goal is that when our students graduate from high school, wherever they go, a university, the military, or straight to the world of work, when people hear that they're a Weslaco ISD graduate, they know that our diploma is gold. And they say, sign that young adult up. Gold diploma, Weslaco ISD. Our second goal, engaging learning environments. We had the word positive. Through the feedback of our district advisory committee, our principals, and many others, they said, okay, we're going to be positive, we know that, but we want to be engaging. We want our classrooms and our schools to be exciting, for students to have a voice, for teachers to have a voice, for our custodians to have a voice. We want engaging. And we added the word drug-free. We heard from parents at the meetings that we had on campuses, many. Canales, Cabinet, we'd like to see drug-free. Why don't we test our students who are involved in extracurriculars randomly for drugs? Why don't we do that? Because then students who want to say no can say, I can't. I love playing football, volleyball, I love being in the band, I love academic UIL. Don't pressure me anymore. So we added that. We also have parent, community, business, industry partnerships. Last year we had relationships, but people said, our people, you said, many of you said, we're not about just relationships, we're about partnerships, people coming together focused on doing great things for all students. So we changed relationships to partnerships. Professional growth and leadership development. We had capacity building, but our board of trustees, the voices in the community, everybody learns and grows every single day. And as a district, we support learning for students, for staff, for parents, for each other. And our last goal is financial strength. A change to this one is transparent. We heard that from the community, we heard that from you. Be as transparent, even if the truth hurts, with us. So we added the word transparency. So those are our 5 goals for this year, very few changes, and they're goals, and Board of Trustees, I want to thank you for it. When we first started this whole process, you said, Dr. Canales, please get the voice of others. And for that, because we believe that it is the voice of others, 2 people coming together, 3, 4, 5, 20, 100 coming together, that's when great things happen. So thank you so much for valuing the voice. Last year, our theme was Lit for Literacy, and I said it earlier, we focused on reading. And I told the story about Patricia Palaco. She's one of my favorite authors. She writes children's books. And if you'll remember, Patricia grew up in a family of readers. And before she started kindergarten, she said to herself, oh my goodness, I'm gonna start school like my grandfather and my mother and my father and my aunts and my uncles and my older siblings. I'm gonna learn how to read. And she was excited. She started kindergarten. And the letters jumped up from the page. 1st grade, maybe I'll learn how to read now. She didn't. 3rd, same thing. 5th grade, remember, she moved to California, and like all children, a new year, a new place, maybe here, I'll be a winner and I'll learn how to read. And she didn't. And kids made fun of her and she hid in closets. Her 5th grade teacher, Mr. Fokker, realized she had the characteristics of dyslexia and took it upon himself to use strategies. And by the end of 5th grade, she was a reader.
And now look at her. She is my favorite, one of my favorites, and I know a favorite for a lot of you. In Weslaco ISD, like Mr. Falker, we make dreams come true. And I'm blessed to be part of a district where people come together and do whatever it takes to figure out great things for children, including children like Patricia, who think this place called school, I'm not good at it. I can't do it. So Lit for Literacy was our theme last year. And we created an environment. I love it. When I go to even softball games, baseball games, and there's an elementary student running, and I'll say, okay, tell me what you read. Walmart, tell me if you read this summer. And they're like, Dr. Canales, I have to read because I learn lots and lots and lots of words. Well, how many words do you learn? If you read for 20 minutes, what does the research say? 20 minutes of reading at home every single day exposes the child's brain to 1.8 million words. And when I go into classrooms and I ask children that question, I love it when they say, I read for 40 minutes. How many words do I see in a year? And I read for an hour. And then we say, well, let's multiply. 1.8 times 2, what is it? 3.6 million words your brain will see. That is powerful. That is powerful. And then those words become part of your oral vocabulary, and then they're in your writing, and then they increase understanding. So let's continue with reading, with the extension to writing. So we have Dr. Brianna Smith. She is now a pediatric neurologist, and in speaking to her mom, an avid reader with a dream to become a doctor. She read, she dreamed, and she achieved her goal. And it wouldn't be convocation for me without a little story. I love books, and I love stories. This is a poem, and it has multiple meanings, but I want to share the meaning and how it spoke to me. So this one is Drum Dream Girl. I can't see that, but I'm going to go to retell it. Oh, I can see it this way. On an island of music in a city of drum beats, the drum dream girl dreamed. A little girl on an island who had visions of playing the drums and being the best drum player on the island. She lived in a culture where she had to talk to her father about her dream. So finally, she's talking to her father. I love dreams. I hear drum beats, and everything that I see and everything that I hear and everything that I do, there's a drum beating. I want to play the drum. Her father, again, a teacher, gets a teacher for her to teach her to drum, an amazing teacher who sees her talent and who develops it. So he teaches her. And then she has to practice and practice and practice, because that's when achievement comes. Y'all know this? Practice and practice and practice. A dream and then practice. And she becomes the best drummer on the island. And the poem ends, and I changed it a little bit, so I should have put this a little bit differently. The poem ends, and all girls and boys, and I added, and women and men should feel free to always, always dream. So our theme is for our students, but it's for us. I encourage you to keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming. There's me. I'm a little girl, okay? People ask me when I was that age, okay, Priscilla, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I grew up in the 70s, right? I graduated in the mid-80s, right? My time with my father, because my father worked lots and lots of hours. My time was Sunday, watching what happens on Sunday in the fall. Football. My grandfather, because Tom Landry grew up in Mission, had played baseball. His team from Little Benavides had played the team from Mission, remembers playing Tom Landry. My grandfather has passed, my Huito's gone, but he was a teacher too. He lives in me. So when I was little, people would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? What's your dream? I wanted to be Tom Landry. I wanted to be the head coach of the best NFL team in America, America's team. I did. I got something better. I am proudly and humbly the head coach of the best district in the nation, Weslaco ISD. Yeah. So Weslaco ISD, we're going to read and we're going to dream on. Just like our elementary and secondary teachers of the year, our National Council of Teacher Education State Teacher of the Year, our AD, who has won and who has been awarded the Regional AD of the Year for multiple years, our elementary principal, Mr. Buttermer, who was up for state awards. We're going to keep on dreaming and achieving. Just like Mr. Banda, who published books. Rebecca Luna, who I believe is here from Northridge, right? Who has a published book based upon her son's story and her experience with her son. And Lamar Jones with his barbecue company. We're going to dream. And we're going to achieve. Look at this. 16 distinctions 3 years ago. 51 this year. Incredible. Thank every single one of you because everybody plays a part in student success. In our district rating, our score is 86. The state says we're a B. We know we're an A all the way around in the complete educational process, and we will be an A academically too. We will. We're on the road to making sure that when every single student graduates from one of our high schools, anybody who hears it knows gold diploma. Complete educational program. That's what we're about. Environments where students feel known, valued, and inspired, where students get a taste of success and they want more, academically, in the fine arts, on the fields, athletically, in technology, and so much more. We achieve. Commissioner Morath, our state commissioner for education, wrote yesterday, the number of high-performing, high-poverty campuses and high-performing, high-poverty districts in the Rio Grande Valley is truly astounding, and it's a testimony to phenomenal leadership and phenomenal skill in the classroom. Morath said, so many teachers, you and you and you and you and you, all of you, pouring their hearts, their love, and skill in our kids and getting great results. Board of Trustees, Cabinet, me, your principals, we are so very proud of every single one of you. So let's keep on doing great things. Let's keep on dreaming and providing rich experiences for children and each other. We're expanding, if you haven't heard, and I'm sure you've heard, we're expanding spaces because more kids want to be involved in fine arts, in athletics, in CTE programs. We're trying our best with what we have to give every single child what he and she deserves. So let's read, let's dream, and let's continue to achieve Weslaco ISD. And a special thank you, let's give a round of applause. Convocation Committee, many people helped create today's experience. So Convocation Committee, please stand up. Some of you may be in the audience, you may be on stage. Please stand up. Thank you. Isn't it wonderful? Awesome. We are looking forward. I am looking forward to serving, to working with you, to create the best ever school year for children, for each other, and for community. Do you realize that 2018-2019 is the last full academic school year of this decade? Let's make it a great one. Love you. God bless. Thank you.
Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world.
One of the reasons for this convocation is to kick off the new school year. But we also want to look back at the best of last year. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a look at the 2017-2018 school year.
Is there a bird on my head now? Piggy says, no.
Weslaco ISD was lit for literacy in 2017-2018. It was a positive and fulfilling school year. It was a time of giving, and along the way, Mother Nature delivers a big surprise.
Readers are leaders, and leaders are readers.
Weslaco ISD Superintendent Dr. Priscilla Canales set the tempo early in the school year with a visit to every elementary school. Following our Lit for Literacy initiative, the message was clear.
I say read. When you read, and when you think about what you read, you generate ideas to be a better citizen, to be more creative, to become a leader.
It was the creativity of two talented WISD students which put our district on the map across the region and state. Ibarra Elementary student April Ambriz was a first place winner for her artwork at the Rio Grande Valley Stock Show Western Art Contest. Her work was then auctioned off.
They told me they sold my artwork for $900. I'm like, I was so excited. I was screaming up and down. I thought they were going to sell my artwork for $200.
Weslaco East student Angie Escalon is a master in art, but had never tried wood burning. And in her first attempt, the sophomore earned the Texas Base Gold Seal Award, the highest level of recognition one can receive.
I didn't know what to say. I was just shocked. I couldn't believe that I actually won the Gold Seal.
It was pure gold for Weslaco East and Weslaco High JROTC Battalion. Both received the Gold Star after a rigorous inspection by the U.S. Army.
We couldn't hold it in. We were like laughing at one point. It was a huge relief. It was just an experience. We had a lot of, let's just say, crying and joy.
We had just received the news and everybody was jumping for joy. And I was really excited. I thought we were going to get the Blue Star, but it turns out we earned that Gold Star.
It didn't stop there for Weslaco High JROTC. 4 color guard students had the distinct honor to present the colors as U.S. Senator John Cornyn visited Weslaco as a special guest speaker.
A lot of seniors don't get the privilege to present the Texas flag in front of many people, especially many people from Washington, D.C., and it was a great honor.
It was also a year of reaching out and making a difference. Throughout the spring semester, Weslaco ISD students worked on a project to help bring light to an entire colonia where hundreds were impacted.
It's real life-based, it's project-based, it's having our children work together, applying everything they learn in academics and science and math and reading and writing and social studies, and using that knowledge to create something meaningful for our community.
For these Weslaco East AVID students, their act of kindness came strictly from the heart. They voyaged on a 3-hour trip to Port Aransas, which was one of several communities battered by Hurricane Harvey. the club raised $3,000 to buy school supplies for a middle school, which was a dire need of materials.
I felt like I finally did something to change someone else's life. It's something that really warmed my heart.
I cried out there because I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, these students from another school and the teachers, and to do this, to have it in their heart, to feel like doing this, and the little note that was written, it's just so special.
Weslaco High's FCCLA has been a strong supporter to Gibson Park for cleaning and promoting healthy living, which has benefited the community. The FCCLA spearheaded an initiative to help bring a grant fund to Weslaco, and in the end, the city of Weslaco was chosen.
Your city had the most write-in nominations, and your community will be receiving a $20,000 grant to continue the awesome work that you're doing in Gibson Park.
The kindness of Gonzales Elementary also led to big rewards. Contributions to the United Way over the years were among the most in South Texas. And because of their generosity, the school received a $10,000 grant for a garden.
This is my garden and this makes me feel good, and I'm excited to be here and take care of it for a couple of years.
A miracle took place one December morning as snow fell across the community and into our WISD campuses. This once-in-a-lifetime experience had some young children surprised and teachers acting like kids again.
It's so cool. The last time it snowed was in 2004, but I was like 3 months old, so I couldn't see it.
I wasn't born in 2004. I was born 2 years after, like in 2006, so like I didn't get to see anything.
Last school year opened new doors for our students. The district began various programs like the Advanced Academic Academy.
The programming and skills that we have to use in this class, it's pretty amazing, and it's really testing me to my limits, but I think that it will help me in the future.
Weslaco ISD developed a team to participate in the inaugural Green Power Electric Car Competition. 32 schools and colleges from across the Rio Grande Valley participated, and Weslaco ISD finished the race with the most laps. The inaugural Fine Arts Fiesta was celebrated at Central Middle School. The district launched what they hope is the start of a new tradition. The community enjoyed some singing and dancing by our talented students.
He was a politician.
A first at Weslaco ISD was Battle of the Books. Tied to our Lit for Literacy campaign, top readers from Weslaco High and Weslaco East competed for bragging rights to see which school is book smart. Perhaps the biggest splash from WISD's new programs is the start of the Aquatics Academy. The district felt there was a need for hands-on swimming lessons, and the students embraced the 2-week program.
How to get bubbles and how to float and also how to kick.
In one of the most anticipated events in the 2017-2018 school year, history was made at Weslaco ISD as CTE Early College graduated its first ever class. 74 seniors took a chance on what was then a new program, and it all paid off in the end.
You are trailblazers. You have paved the way for many others with your amazing accomplishments. You are the first to earn industry certifications, district.
All right, let's welcome back onto the stage Miss Annalisa Salinas.
All right, thank you very much to K-West for putting that video together. It was a good video. Come on, guys. It was an amazing video. All right, at this time, we would like to introduce our guest speaker. He is a former All-American quarterback at the Baylor University and also played in the NFL for the San Diego Chargers. He overcame disorder to find a way to achieve his lifelong dreams. And today, he is one of America's most powerful and passionate communicators, speaking for corporate conferences, national conventions, sales organizations, and sports teams. In addition to speaking, he is a minister at the Prestonwood Church of Dallas, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Neil Jeffrey.
Hey, thank you very much, and I am thrilled to be, hey, thanks, Coach. Let's hear it for Coach. Well done, man, thanks. Hey, is it possible, and this may not be, to have the lights on a little more in the audience so I can see the faces? If it's not, it's no big deal, but yeah, there you go. There is somebody out there, yeah, I can see it. Hey, I have been inspired already. I've been challenged. What a great place, what a great city, what a great school district, what a great you, and I'm honored to be a part of this. Now, excuse me. I don't know what's going on. As I begin this morning, I need to warn you something about me, which is obvious. You're going to notice this as I talk, because it's just a fact. But I happen to be a stutterer. Now, all that really means is that I stutter. And I don't want to brag or anything, but actually I'm a very good stutterer. I stutter really well. Now, you stutter as a speaker guy, and of course I know it has to be weird for you, the audience. I mean, I do enough speaking. I know it has to be weird to be sitting out there, and you just heard that your speaker for the next 45 minutes is a stutterer. And you're thinking whatever you're thinking. You're feeling sorry for the guy. You're thinking, why do we have to have the stutter? I don't know what you're thinking, but let me set your minds at ease, though. In one sense, being a stutterer really is no big deal, unless you want to say something. And believe me, it's going to be a factor. And all of my life, it's been a factor. I can honestly say if stuttering has anything for me, it has definitely made my life exciting in that I never know in any situation I'm in if I'll be able to say something or not. And believe me, I've been in thousands of situations all of my life where I've had something to say, wanted to say it, and just had an exciting time trying to get it said. I mean, it affected me as a kid. Now, I don't stutter as well as I used to stutter as a kid. I mean, as a kid, I was a great stutterer. And actually, I may have stuttered as well as anybody has ever stuttered. I'm not sure if they actually keep those kind of stats or not. But as a kid, I couldn't talk. Couldn't say my name, couldn't say hello, couldn't talk on the phone. In fact, I'd be at the house when I was a little kid, and our phone would ring, and every once in a while I tried to answer the phone, and I did this hundreds of times. I would get the receiver, pick it up, get stuck, start the stutter, couldn't say him, so I just hang up on him. And I used to call people as a kid. They'd answer the phone. I never got anything else. I just hang up and try back and forget that thing. But it affected me in every area of my life as a kid. It affected me as a student. I mean, everything about school was a struggle for me. I mean, I stuttered all the way through. I mean, I was raised in the era back in the 50s and 60s when I was a kid where they used to call roll every day in school, and all you got to do is say here. I got counted absent a lot of days. I just couldn't. But it affected me in school. Reading was a real challenge for me. Speech class was a major adventure for me. Spanish class. Now, if you can imagine me stuttering in English, you should have heard me stutter in Spanish. It was impressive. But stuttering has always affected my life. It always has. It affected me as a kid, as a student, and also as an athlete. It affected me. Now, I played football, and I happened to be a quarterback. Now, most of you know that normally a guy that plays that position, usually you need to be able to talk. You got to call the plays in the huddle. You got to say the huts at the line of scrimmage. You got to change the play at the line of scrimmage. And of course, all that happens in highly stressful time-sensitive situations where for me, it was just always exciting. Now, in high school, at least when I played in high school, all you were allowed time-wise to call the play in the huddle and get everyone up to the line of scrimmage to get the ball snap was 25 seconds. That's all you got. Well, often it just wasn't enough time for me to say all the stuff I had to say in the huddle and stutter. So we were constantly having situations that I'd be in the huddle, I'd be calling the play, I'd get stuck, start the stutter, the 25 seconds runs out, referee throws the flag, and we lose 5 yards for delay of game. I'm costing us a lot of yardage. So my coach devised a system whereby if I was on the field, I never had to say anything. And we did that in the huddle. We had a split in. We always stood right beside me in the huddle. His name is Steve Thomas. Steve called every play for me in the huddle. He'd say the formation, he'd say the play, he'd say the snap count, he'd say ready break. So basically, I didn't have to do a thing in the huddle because Steve said everything for me. In fact, my coach had said, Neil, you just be on a knee in the huddle and kind of act like you're doing something. But he said, don't open your mouth because it just confuses everybody. So Steve said everything over the huddle. We'd break the huddle. We'd hustle up with the line of scrimmage. And once we reached the line of scrimmage, I had a fullback who always lined up right behind me in the I formation. His name was Stu Cropper. Stu would say all of the huts for me at the line of scrimmage. And it was so unique at the start of every ball game just to watch that initial reaction of the defense when Stu'd be saying those huts. Of course, he's in the stance, you can't even see him, and I'd just be smiling. Of course, nobody knew who's saying those huts, where are they coming from, but it's always affected my life, always has. All through high school, it affected me. I went to Baylor University to play football. I had been a Baylor fan all of my life, which means I've suffered all of my life. I mean, but I've always wanted to go to Baylor and play. I get there as a freshman in 1971 to play football. And that first day of practice, first day of 2 days, first day of practice, I am stuttering extremely well. I mean, I'm having a hard time calling the plays. I can't say anything. And of course, it impacted everybody. And actually what made it worse was nobody there actually knew I stuttered because I had failed to mention that to anybody. And so I'm having a terrible time. It was affecting me. It was affecting all the players, all the coaches, and they're all wondering what's up with this freshman quarterback who can't even talk hardly. It just created a tense situation. Well, after about half of that first practice, Coach Taft, who was our coach at Baylor at the time, a great man, a great guy, he saw the situation, he saw the impact it was having on me, on everybody, so he calls me over on the sideline. And we talk about my problem. And I say, Coach, I'm a stutterer. It's not always this bad. Sometimes it's worse. We discussed it, we talked about it. He asked me a bunch of questions about stuttering. One of the questions he asked me was he asked me if I stuttered when I sang. Because I thought to myself and said, no, sir, I can't explain this, but for some reason I can sing without stuttering. He said, Neil, why don't you try this next time? Just try stepping in the huddle and sing a play to the guys. Well, I was only a freshman, and I stepped in there as soon as it was my time again, and I was only about a 180-pound freshman, and I stepped in there with all these big linemen and these big upperclassmen and just kind of sang them something like, slide right, X49GY cross, something like that. And it loosened everybody up. And it helped me. It was so much easier to sing the play instead of stuttering through the play. I kept singing the play. And after a while, it was kind of neat and novel and kind of fun, and everybody was getting into this thing. And after a while, I started to ask if anybody had any requests. They wanted to hear me try to sing the play too, and I tried to sing it for them. And we stayed with that for several practices until a few days later, one of our centers walks up to Coach after practice and said, Coach, all the guys have decided that we would rather hear him stutter than have to listen to him sing. But I say all of that just so you'll know, hey, I'm a stutterer. I'm going to stutter, but know this. When I get stuck and start the stutter, and I will, when I get stuck and start the stutter, wait a minute, because something's coming. That's what I want you to know. You know, I'm obviously an old guy now, and I can look back over a whole lifetime of stuttering and all this experience, and there are 1,000 funny stories. But when I was a kid, stuttering was not funny. I struggled. I mean, I've always had this huge self-image deal. I'm not as good as everybody else because I can't talk. And every time I tried to speak, it just made me, because the stutterer always feels stupid because you never say anything right. Stutterer always feels ugly because you make all these faces. I mean, I've seen myself. I know exactly. I've always struggled, always felt inferior, always felt like I got this big deal on my chest. Here's what I want to do this morning, what I'd like to do, what I hope to do. Just to remind you, and you know this, to remind you what you do is incredible. What's so funny? To remind you what you do, even her, to remind you that what you do is incredible. And you know what? It makes an impact. Because here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line of this whole experience of teaching. I've started a new school year. In fact, here's what I want to do actually in my kind of time this morning. And this might be a little corny, but this is my thought on my idea. And you know, if something is a corny, but you say beforehand it might be corny, and it actually is corny, it's not as corny if I had said beforehand it might be corny. You know what I'm saying? Well, here's my idea, what I want to do. What I want to do is just give you a pep talk this morning. As we start a new school year, just a brand new year, brand new students, brand new experience. Of course, the challenge is we want to make this, and it's already been said a couple of times this morning, the greatest year in the history of Weslaco ISD. And why not? Actually, if I had a theme or a title of this little pep talk, which I don't officially, but if I had a title, it might be 3 Latin words. And the 3 Latin words are Altheus, Sithius, Fortius. They mean higher, swifter, stronger. Those 3 words make up what is known as the Olympic motto. Those 3 words are on every Olympic stadium in the world. And the inspiration of those words, that motto in the Olympic movement is this: no matter how high they have gone before us, we are gonna go higher. Or how strong they were in the past, we're gonna be stronger. Or how fast they ran, we're committed that we will run fast. That's a pretty good motto. That's a good way to run their life, to run a business, to run a district, to run a classroom, maybe to inspire a kid. Hey, you can go higher, swifter, strong. You can make your life count. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remind you of some things I know you know, just to make sure you know them. And I'm hoping something might be said in this little pep talk that after we have this experience, of this whole experience of all that we've experienced this morning, we go out there and I am going to make this the greatest year of my life and the greatest year of my students' life and the greatest year of this district's life. Here's what I want to do this morning, because as a stutterer, I struggled all the way through school. I thought there's not going to be a place for me out there because I couldn't talk. But I got some from a teacher that changed my life. I want to share with you 4 things I got from a teacher that changed my life. Made a huge impact on me. Here's the first one. I heard something from a teacher and a coach that powerfully changed my life. I heard something. Now, obviously, one of the things a teacher does, I guess, and it has to do is talk. And so students, obviously, have heard 10 million billion things from a teacher. You take all the stuff, if you consider how many things a student has heard a teacher say over the course of their whole schooling experience. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, all the names and dates and places and theories. I mean, it's incredible. A kid hears a lot of things, but here's something I heard that impacted my life. Is this thought, is this phrase, hey, Neil, you can do this. Because every kid struggles with something in their life, and every kid has a hard time with maybe a new concept, a new idea, a new something. And what I guess one of the assignments of a teacher is to take our students when they arrive here in August, and they're all at some place. They're all have needs, have stuff, but our assignment is to help them get to a different place of having grown, having matured, having learned, having experienced. And at the end of the school year, they've gone from here and they've progressed all the way to there. Well, the challenge is every time, just about every time a kid hears a new idea, a new thought or something, they respond, oh, I can't do this. I can't get this. And you know what the fact is? We all have stuff in our life we think is a negative in our life, and we just assume because I got this thing, I'm not as good as everybody else. For most of my life, I saw my stuttering as a lid. And I assumed since I got this stuttering thing, it's going to be a lid on my life, and it's going to hold me down and defeat me and keep me from being maybe something I hoped and maybe dreamed I could possibly do. I got this lid. Hey, for example, I got to my high school up in Overland Park, Kansas. I was born in Fort Worth, so I'm a Texan. And I went there, got back as fast as I could. But I went to high school in Overland Park, Kansas. And I get to my high school as a sophomore, heard about this student government thing. And I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe it'd be good to be involved in student government in my high school. Because I've been involved in sports all these years and had those experiences and those relationships. Maybe I should branch out, meet some new people, have some new experiences, and be involved in student government. Actually, it was my dad's idea, but I thought, you know what, this is a good idea. So I decided I'm going to do this. And then I found out, if you're going to be elected to student government in my high school, you had to stand up in front of your whole class and make a speech. Now, as a sophomore in high school, I was such a good stutterer, I couldn't even say a silent prayer with that stuttering. Much less speak. There's no way. So here was something I would like to have done. Didn't think I could. So I didn't even try. Just accepted defeat. Just said, no, I got a lid. It's going to hold me down. Here's what I'm saying. Every human being has something. Every kid has something in their life they think is a lid. They think it's there to defeat them and to hold them back. I believe it was all my heart. I believe the reason God allows certain things in our life, struggles, tough things, experiences, lids, stutter, whatever it is not to hold us down and to defeat us. It's to actually make us even greater. I read one study of 300 of the greatest leaders in the history of the world. I'm talking Churchill, Gandhi, Roosevelt, Lincoln, all those guys and gals, men and women who shaped world history. You would assume they arrived at their position of influence and power because they did not have something in their life. You know what they discovered? Almost every one of them, over 91.2% of that group had something huge placed in their life, something physical, something emotional, something that should have defeated them. The reality was it actually made them even greater. You know what Cicero said? Now, I'm not exactly sure who Cicero was, but he's one of those one-name Roman Latin guys. Like Plato, Socrates, and all those guys. And I learned in school, if a one-name Roman Latin guy says something, you listen to what the guy says. Cicero said this: the greater the tragedy, the greater the triumph. You know what the Bible says? Now, again, I don't know what I think about the Bible, and that's up to you. That's a personal thing, but I personally believe it's the inspired Word of God, but surely you would admit it's a decent book at least. Here's a great statement in the Bible which says this about this whole lid thing. It says, hey, consider it all joy when you encounter various trials. He actually says, rejoice. When you get a knockdown in your life, when you get a lid, he says, consider it joy. Why? Because the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result so that you might be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Seems to be saying if a person wants to be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing, you're not born that way. You know how you get there? It's through struggles, through knockdowns, through defeats, through a lid placed in your life. We all got them. what needs to be done is to say, hey, what am I going to do about this deal? And it's just a slight adjustment of changing. You know what? This could be ultimately the greatest thing about it. And I could stand up here for an hour, I really could, and give illustration in every area of life. I mean, sports especially, because I love sports, but just how people who got knocked down, had huge things, who actually came back, were even greater. This is one little story, one quick little story. I love this story, out of the Olympic Games. 1939, a man stands at the 50-meter rapid-fire pistol competition in the World Championships, where he shoots with a pistol at 50 meters. He wins the gold medal in the World Championships, 1939. Everybody assumes he'll win the gold in the next year of 1940 in the Olympic Games. But there's a war in 1940, so there's no Olympic Games. He's a sergeant in the Hungarian army. One day in a battle in World War II, hand grenade blows up near his right hand, shatters his right hand, he loses almost all his right arm. After the war, he goes home to Hungary, he gets depressed, he gets discouraged, because everybody assumes he'll never compete again, he'll never shoot again. I've read this story, it's amazing. All of a sudden one day, struggles, all of a sudden, you know what? My passion is shooting, it's who I am. He gets his pistol, he goes out in the woods of Hungary, teaches himself how to shoot all over again using his left hand, less dominant eye. He shocks the world, shows up at the 1952 Olympic Games, the 50-meter rapid-fire pistol competition, using his left hand, less dominant eye, wins a gold medal, sets a new world record. He does it again at the Olympics in 1956. Every Olympic book you can read that mention great Olympic champions, I've read every one of them. They always mention the name Caroline Talkoffs. He was great in 39, he got knocked down, got defeated. He was even greater in 1952 and 1950. That's the point. I've struggled all my life with my stuttering, I said, and I went through, because a stutterer, just so you know, a stutterer's greatest fear is having somebody see him stutter. Because a stutterer is ashamed of how he talks. He's ashamed of how he looks when he talks, makes all those faces, his eyes blink. And I used to get hung up on a syllable for 20 seconds. A stutterer is also ashamed of how he sounds when he talks. He messes up the words, it never sounds right, it's just always ugly. For most of my life, my number one objective in life as a kid was to hide the fact that I stuttered. You know the only way you can hide that fact? Never talk. I never talked. Couldn't drag it out. I never said anything. I never in class raised my hand and said, hey, I know the answer to that question, even though I almost always did. Never stood up and said, hey, here's what I think. Never took a stand and said, hey, this is my conviction. This is what I believe in. Never did that. Just sit in the back, sit down and shut up. For most of my life, my number one objective was to hide this fact. I get to Baylor, there's some things happen in my life. That's a whole other story, but I decided, you know what? I got something to say. And I'm going to start standing up, you know, and I'm going to start speaking, even if they laugh at me, and they did sometimes. And you know what? They still do sometimes. I decided I'm going to start talking. You know what? My whole life changed. Now when I stopped stuttering, I still stutter. My life changed when my attitude toward my stuttering changed. My whole world thing, hey, why does this have to be something that holds me on the feet? Why can't this be ultimately the thing that makes me even greater? About 20 years ago, I was talking to a big-time speaker guy in Dallas. Jack Kinder was his name, but he's a big-time speaker guy. And I was asking him, hey, could I be a speaker as a stutterer and just do stuff like this and do corporate and go places? Because I'm assuming he's going to say, no, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You know what? Here's what he said. He said, Neil, every speaker in the world is trying to find something that sets them apart and makes them unique. You got it! You were born with this thing. Why does it have to be that defeats you? Why can't you have a positive attitude about this thing, blow that lid off your life, and you go higher, swifter, stronger, and dream something greater? You know what? Every kid has something. Every kid has the ability to read, dream, and achieve, but they need somebody who believes in them long before they believe in themselves. You know what? That's one of the greatest thrills of being a teacher and a coach. It's someone who sees something, who believes something, and said, I'm going, yes, son, you can do this. That's the point. I had learned early in school that, I mean, all the way through junior high, I learned if we ever had had to make a speech in class, you know, a presentation, I learned all I had to do was after the assignment was made, is walk up after class to the teacher and just explain my situation, that I'm a stutterer and I can't talk and it's off. And of course I'd be stuttering a lot as I'm explaining my situation, and I'm slobbering and gagging, I'll make it as bad as my objective was to make her, to say to her, oh, I would never make you do that. And it almost always worked. And of course she said, you don't have to make the speech, because I'm walking away going, yes. Till I was a freshman in high school. Miss McCrae, speech class. I go, because speech class, you have to make speeches, but all through junior, I got out of it. I tell Miss McCrae, I can't, because I'm stuttering, I'm slobbering, all this doesn't make my best case possible. What she said was, Neil, we'll see about that. I'm thinking, what? We'll see about what? You know what Miss McCrae did? Miss McCrae made me face some things. Miss McCrae, lovingly, kindly, wonderful for a lady, one of my favorites of all time, but she made me do some things that I would never have done. Never placed myself, I can't describe how scared I was on that morning of my first speech, but here's my point. I never become this guy doing what I do now if I didn't have a Miss McCrae who said, Neil, I think you're selling yourself a little short. That's the point. I heard something from a teacher that powerfully changed my life. And you know what's amazing about that? You never know when that moment's going to happen. That's why every class period is so precious. Because this class, this day may be the one that turns a kid's life around. Here's the second thing, real quick, I got to hurry. Number two, I heard something from a teacher that changed me. But second thing, I caught something from a teacher that changed my life. I caught something. Now, I don't mean the flu or something like that, but, which is an issue, I know, but I caught, you know what I caught? I caught a dream for my life from a teacher and or a coach that powerfully inspired me. I saw them and I realized that's who I want to be. It's how I want to live. It's where I want to go. I got the dream for my life. Now you know this. Everything begins with a dream. It all starts. That's one of the great things God blessed us with, is the ability to dream. And the challenges, I'm not going to waste my life just floating through life and going through with the flow and doing everything. I want to dream something great that demands my best body, mind, and spirit. Because you know, you get a dream, what happens is that dream gets you. And that dream sticks to your soul. And that dream will not let you go. And that dream is the reason you start early and stay late. And it is what drives you. It's your passion. It's why you do everything with excellent mind. Because you got a dream. It isn't just a to-do list. It isn't just a goal. No, it's a dream for your life. It's who you want to be, what you want to do. And you know what? The first challenge is, hey, you dream a great dream. You know the greatest teachers, you know who they are? The greatest teachers are not the ones who teach just because they need a job. Although I realize that's reality sometimes. The greatest teachers are not those who are just in it for the money. Because there's not any money in being a teacher. The greatest teachers are those who teach because teaching is their dream. And you know what? I love this about kids, little kids usually. They always have great dreams, huge dreams. You ask a little kid, what do you want to do? Want to be, most of them, I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to be the first this, I want to be whatever. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a quarterback. That was my dream. I wanted to be a quarterback in my junior high up in Overland Park. In my high school, wanted to be a Baylor, always dreamed about playing at Baylor. Always dreamed about being in the NFL, which I got to do for a couple of years. Always dreamed about being all-pro in the NFL. Dreamed about being in the National Football League Hall of Fame. I dreamed about being the greatest quarterback that ever lived. I fell a little bit short, I think, of some of those things. But I'm not sure I get as far as I got if I didn't have that dream. Your dream should always exceed your reach of who you want to be and what you want to do. I can stand up here and give a story about dreaming from just one story about dreaming. This is one of my favorite stories of all time. I can verify this story because I read this in 2 Olympic books. 1920, the fastest man in the world was a guy named Charlie Paddock. He just won the gold medal in the Olympic Games in the 100-meter dash, because that man is always known as the fastest man in the world. He comes home to America. He's a national hero. He's making speeches and appearances all over the nation. He makes a speech at East Tech High School in Cleveland, Ohio. In that speech, in that assembly, he makes this statement. He says, who knows? There may be an Olympic champion in this room today. But first, you got to have that dream. You got to have faith. You got to believe. You got to work hard. Well, he finishes his speech. He's standing on the side of the stage answering questions, signing some autographs. One of the kids from that high school walks up to Charlie Paddock and says, Mr. Paddock, I want to be an Olympic champion just like you. He stopped, looked at the young man and said, son, you can if you dream. If you have faith, you believe you can do this. With this kid from East Tech High School, Cleveland, Ohio, 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin, he wins 4 gold medals. One of those is the 100-meter dash. He's the fastest man in the world because it's Jesse Owens. He comes home to America. He's the national hero. He's in his hometown of Cleveland in a parade, in a convertible, going down Main Street. A bunch of kids rush the car. They stop the car for a little bit. He's talking to these kids, signing some autographs. One of the kids in that group around the car says to Jesse Owens, Mr. Owens, I want to be an Olympic champion just like you. I love this about this story. Here's a big-time world-class athlete, stops his world for 5 seconds, and he eyeballs a snotty-nosed kid from inner-city Cleveland, Ohio, and gives that kid the dream of his life. He says, son, you can do this. If you dream, you have faith, you believe, you work hard, you can do this. Well, this kid was so skinny, everybody called him Bones. Bones runs all the way home. He tells his nanny, Nanny, I'm going to be an Olympic champion just like Jesse Owens. 1948 Olympic Games. The man who wins the gold medal in the 100-meter dash, fastest man in the world, from Cleveland, Ohio, is a guy named Harrison Bones Dillard. There's something about having that dream. Now, you know what? It's conceivable there's someone in this room who used to have great dreams when you were young. This happens often, and we all struggle with a little bit of this. You just live enough life, have enough experiences, maybe some knockdowns, some struggles and things, and you know how easy it is. You just stop dreaming. You know, somebody said this about that. You always have to be careful. If your memories start to outweigh your dreams, because it means you're always looking back instead of looking forward. And we were created, we were made, everything about us is made to go ahead. The challenge is I'm going to dream. You are going to dream a great dream. And one of the greatest things in all of life is having a dream, following a dream, finishing a dream. There's nothing like that. And you may have already done that. And if you have, dream another great dream. You know what's right behind that? In being almost as awesome as living your dream, is living your dream in such a way that your dream and you living it actually inspires somebody else to dream a dream. Most great teachers teach because they had a great teacher who just inspired them. Someone who was living their dream, doing it well, and inspired them, and that's who they want to be. They got that as well. I love this about inspiring others with your life and dreaming, inspiring them to dream as well. Of course, you know, geese A goose. Goose know how to inspire another goose. You know how they do that? They honk. And a goose's honk, of course, means a lot of things, but we know it means this. When a goose honks, he's encouraging another goose. You know what a geese do. They fly in formation from A to point B, 3,000 miles against all odds, all obstacles, and get back to the exact. I mean, it's incredible what they do as animals. One of the things they do is they honk. And the honk means, hey, we can do this. Yes. And they keep honking. And that's what they go, honk. And a goose's honk means, hey, I believe in us, we can do this. Keep on flapping those wings, we're going to get there. Well, I used that story, it's been a number of years ago, but I was speaking to the Baylor soccer team just before they were about to play the University of Texas soccer team in a regional soccer championship match. I'm with the Baylor Bears in the locker room, and I used a story about the geese, how they're always successful, they always get back, they have a leader, they fly as a team, they care about one another, and they honk, and they encourage me. And so I honked for the guys right there, like I did for you. I went, honk! Well, I asked the whole Baylor soccer team to honk, and right there in that locker room, the whole team honked. It was glorious. Well, in the game, it ends up in a 2-all tie. Of course, you know what you do in a championship match in soccer, if it's tied, you do an overtime period. Well, it was still tied. You do a second overtime period, it was still tied. Then you do a shootout. It's where 5 of their guys shoot against our goalie, and 5 of our guys shoot against their goalie. Well, the UT guy goes first. He takes the ball, puts it down, he backs up, he scores. Our guy, Brody Hildebrand is his name, takes the ball, puts it down, he backs up. Troy Newsom on the sideline lets out a honk. As soon as he honked, all the other guys on the sideline on the team started honking. Then all the moms and dads in the stands who had no idea what was going on, but they started honking too. The whole Baylor side was honking. We won that shootout. We won that game. We won that championship, and I'm convinced it was the power of the honk. Now here's the point. Everybody needs a good honk. You know what? In fact, let's do this. On 3. I want your best honk. Okay, you ready? Here we go. 1, now. Don't leave me hanging up here, okay? I want your best, I want you got. On 3. Your best honk. Here we go. On 3. Ready? Yeah, that guy right there. Here we go. On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Honk! You know what? Maybe the greatest thing some kids need coming to school and what they're most excited about may be a free lunch. You know what else? It may be they know they are going to get encouraged. And someone's going to honk. I think it'd be awesome if one of the board is walking through your school sometime, walking down the hall. All of a sudden they hear honking going on in that campus. Hey, I caught something from a teacher and a coach that powerfully changed my life. I caught a dream from my life. You know, somebody set up one of those statements, I guess, of teachers up there. This is glorious. It said something like, the 2 greatest days in a student's life. First is when they're born, and the second is when they discover why. When the dream for their life. You know, it's tragic. Too many kids go through their life just all this potential, all this power, all this ability, and they all got it. Now, they're not all the best of the best, but you don't have to be the best of the best. You have to be who you are. And they all got it, but it's just tragic how a kid just kind of goes through. It's not focused, not challenged. The light hadn't gone on, and he just kind of floats through life and just kind of going with what everyone else is doing. Something has to happen eventually where something happens in that kid's life where the light goes on and he realizes, this is the dream of my life. And also, you get a dream, you get a reason to say no to all the junk you got to say no to. And there's a whole lot of junk out there you got to say no to. And also you get a dream, you realize, hey, I got to say yes to all this stuff. My brother, I've got a brother, he was behind me a couple of years. He went to Baylor. He was a quarterback also at Baylor. He was playing, but he was flunking out of Baylor. He couldn't pass anything. He tried kinesiology. I mean, he tried PE, but he kept flunking kinesiology. He tried business, but he couldn't pass accounting. I mean, he was just, it was awful. He was flunking out of school. And all of a sudden, the next semester, he takes an introduction to psychology. Boom, light goes on. That's what I can do. I can be a counselor. Next 66 hours, at Baylor, he makes a 4-point, gets his master's degree, ends up getting his doctorate. He's got his own counseling deal. He writes books. He goes and speaks. Now he's so smart. He's not even fun talking to anymore. I mean, he's just another thing. But point is, he got the dream. He got the light. Light goes on, and it changes everything. That's the point. Here's the third thing, real quick. I got to hurry. Number 3 is, I heard something. I caught something. Number 3, you know what else? I saw something that changed my life. In a teacher, in a coach. You know what I saw? I saw some men and women who were great teachers, yes. Great coaches, yes. But who are living life well. Making a difference with their life. Now, beyond just in school, I'm talking living and doing it well. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a quarterback. That's what I've always wanted to do. I've always loved quarterbacks. I love watching them. I love throwing a football. I love watching quarterbacks throw a football. When I was a kid, my all-time hero quarterback was Johnny Unitas, the old guy for the Colts up in Baltimore. But then, of course, Robert Staubach was a hero of mine as well. I always loved him. But the coolest quarterback when I was a kid, I don't know if you remember this guy or not, was a quarterback named Joe Namath. You remember Joe Namath? Everything about him was cool. He was about 6'5", 225. He looked so cool in his uniform. I mean, he would take a snap and drop back and just like a Greek guy. I'd watch him on TV. Here's what he would do. He'd be in the huddle. He'd call a play. They'd break the huddle. He'd walk up behind the center. He would stop behind the center. He would look around like this, and then he would do this. He'd straighten his shoulder pads. He'd go. Then we'd get it in the center. I saw that, and I thought, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm an 8th grade quarterback. Next day in practice, we break the huddle. I'm walking behind the line of scrimmage. I'm looking around. I don't even know what I'm looking at, but I'm looking. That's what I do. Then I do one of these. I saw a picture of Joe in Sports Illustrated. He's standing on the side. I still have a picture in the scrapbook. It was a 4-page. He's standing on the sideline because he's right-handed. He's standing on the sideline. His left hand is up like this. And on this hand, he had 2 pieces of skinny white tape, one around this set of knuckles, and one around, and I saw that, and I thought that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. So the next day, I give me some tape, and some scissors. I cut that thing up, put me some, I show up at practice with my fingers taped, and everyone's asking me, hey, Neil, what's wrong with your fingers? Hey, it didn't matter. Joe did it. Here's my point. There was a time in my life, just about every kid out there, we'd give anything to be like those guys. All those rock stars, movie stars, athletes, all the big shot musicians. So wealthy, so good, so all that stuff. We would trade places with them in a heartbeat. But here's what I learned. After I grew up a little bit, learned about life, about living, all kind of, you know what I realized? I actually realized I didn't want to be like most of those guys up there. Because sad to say, most of those guys did sports well, or movies well, or rock music well. They just didn't do life well. You know what I realized? I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to be like Coach Taft, coach at Baylor. Miss Gill, my 2nd grade teacher, one of the greatest. In fact, she was the last, I shouldn't say that. She was the last one. I was raised in the 50s and 60s. She was the last one that spanked me in the principal's office with the big board. Of course, I hated that, but I loved her. One of the thrills of my life was When she got sick, her son called me. I got to visit with her, walk there. You know what? When she had her funeral, I had the privilege of doing the funeral. My second grade teacher, Mrs. Gill. But I saw something do in life. Well, you know, somebody made this statement. This is a great statement. I forgot who said this. Actually, it may have been me. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But somebody said this. The only thing God can use to make a man is a boy. And where does a boy learn how to be a man? He's got to watch a man be a man. Where does the lady learn how to be a lady? There has to be a lady in her life who she sees and it impacts her and she realizes that's who I want to be. Where does a boy learn how to love America? He's got adults in his life who love America, who understand what it means to be an American and appreciate the freedoms we have and those who paid for those freedoms. Where does a boy or girl learn how to work hard? Man, he's got someone in their life who expects it of him, who demands it of him. Where does a boy or a girl learn how to, hey, this is not right. You can't go that. Well, you know, I mentioned I got spanked by Mrs. Gill, second grade. I got spanked by my dad a bunch. I got whipped by my dad. I got slapped by my dad. Now, I'm not saying you ought to get whipped. I'm not saying you ought to slap your kids, obviously, at all. I am saying it worked pretty well on me, though. And what does the boy learn how to just love and lead? And how about this? What does the boy learn how to treat a woman where a woman's supposed to be treated? He's got someone in his life. He says, son, this is how you do it. And what does the boy, hey, how about this? What does a boy or a kid actually learn how to die? You watch somebody die. I watched my dad die. He got pancreatic cancer, which is a bad thing to get. He got the worst type. They actually said he got 3 months to live. He had that awful urge, almost died from that. Lived a year and a half, amazingly, but he was sick, in the hospital, suffered up and down, lost all that weight, all of his hair, couldn't taste anything the last 6 months of his life, and he died. But you know what? I know how a man's supposed to live because I watched a man live well. When my dad's time came to suffer, I watched the man suffer. He never complained, never said, why me? His idea was, hey, I've been faithful, I've been good in all these good times, why would anything less now? And when my dad's time came to die, I watched a man die with integrity, with faith, with commitment, all the way. You know, that's something you don't learn anywhere else. I know what I'm supposed to do. You know why? Because I had somebody in my life who showed me, who inspired me, and who demanded the best of me. Now, I had a great dad. I had a great mom. I had a great family. In our world, in our society, some kids don't. But you know what? Thank goodness he's going to spend most of his day with us. And for them to be able to see something that inspires them and they say, I want to be that. I saw something. One of my seminary profs, Curtis Vaughn, one of the most brilliant men I've ever been around in my life. He was godly, he was scholarly, he was a gentleman, he was just a gracious guy. And I had him for 3 classes. His wife got breast cancer. I watched him and all 3 of those semesters, he cared for his wife, took care of her. We prayed for her, he talked about it. I mean, he was amazing. And then the last semester I had him, she died. I was there at the service. Watched 11 years ago, my wife got breast cancer. Went through the whole thing, the mastectomies, the reconstruction, the whole deal. I remember thinking, as soon as we got the word, it's cancer. We're going to have to do all this stuff. I remember thinking to myself, you know what? I know what I'm supposed to do. You know why? I watched Dr. Curtis Vaughn do it. That's the point. Here's the last thing real quick. We got to go. Well, I got to go. You probably got to go too. But here's number 4 real quick. I'll just mention what we've done. I heard something changed my life. I caught something, I saw something, you know what else? I felt something from a teacher, coach that powerfully impacted. You know what I felt? I felt loved. I felt like somebody really cared about me, valued me, was invested in my life, and that, you know this, love is the greatest motivating factor in the universe. That's what the Bible says about love. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Now abides faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. Love. What changes us is when we love. What changes us is when you love who you are. And I spent most of my life never happy being me because I stuttered. I wanted to be like everyone else who didn't stutter. In a grade school, I wanted to be Mark Mintier. He was the coolest guy in our grade school. In junior high, it was Randy Fagan. High school, it was Steve Thomas. In college, there was 100 guys in college. I was never happy being me, always wanted to be somebody else. Why did I have to have this? After all these years, you know what? I've discovered how awesome it is to be who I am, with what I got, with where I am in life. And the challenge, it's a powerful thing when a teacher shows up here in this place, in any classroom, any employee shows up here, and they love themselves who they are, they rejoice in who they are, love where they are, where they do what they do here in this place, where they do it with these students who they get to share it with. That changes everything because love, if love lines up, you can't stop a person like that. To love who you are, love what you do, love your subject, love those students, and love sharing with them that and life. One of the things my dad did well for us, and I know we got to go, but my dad, he loved us boys and my family. He'd say it. He'd say, hey, I love you. You know what else you do? He'd hug us. Now I realize you can't hug everybody in our world today, but he would hug us. I mean, I'd play a game, and after that game, I'd walk out of the locker room, and there'd be my dad and my mom, and dad come up. Some of the best memories of my life, just being in that hug. I've always been a Baylor fan, as I said. And if you were raised, as I was, as a Baylor fan, in the 50s and 60s when I was a kid, you were also raised with a real strong dislike for the University of Texas. Because Texas beat us in football for 17 years in a row. My whole growing up life, they dominated Baylor, dominated the Southwest Conference, won 2 national championships. My dream was to play at Baylor. Well, my freshman year, 1971, Texas beats us for the 15th in a row, 44-7. My sophomore year, they beat us for the 16th in a row, 17-3. My junior year, 1973, we played in Austin, Texas. I'm talking Memorial Stadium. I'm talking 80-something plus thousand people. Great place to play football. It was a great game. Texas scores in the last second of the game and beats us 56-20. 17th year in a row. Now I'm a senior in 1974. We're playing in Waco. We're having a good year. They're having a good year. It's a big showdown. They call it Brazos River. Our stadium only holds about 48,000 people. This is the old stadium. We jammed about 52,000 people in the place. On the third play of the game, I threw a pass to receiver on the left sideline. He catches the ball. He breaks the tackle. He goes 67 yards for a touchdown. We're ahead 7-0. I'm not sure if we had led in 17 years, and here we are ahead, because everybody's thinking maybe this year we finally win. Well, you know this. If you score, you have to kick the ball to the other team. So we kicked the ball to Texas. They're huge back then. Ran the wishbone. They take the ball, and they just methodically, they march down the field, score 7-7. We get the ball, have a good drive, we get stopped, we got to punt. We punt. They take the ball, they methodically, they march, they score again, 14-7. We get the ball, have a good drive, I throw an interception. As I remember, it wasn't my fault. The guy ran the wrong route. But they take the ball, they score again, 20 minutes. We get the ball, have a good drive, we stop, we punt, win the punt. They drive it, we finally stop them to kick a field goal. It's now 24-7, Texas is ahead, and it's halftime. Our fans are leaving by the thousands. They're not going to watch this. Well, the Star second, they get the ball first. We stop them. They got a punt. We block their punt. We go in and score. We shut Texas down. They didn't score another point. We end up scoring 27 unanswered points. We end up winning that game 34-24. To this day, it's still the greatest comeback victory in the history of Earth. I may have oversaid a little bit, but it's incredible. And it was my best day ever as a quarterback. I was a Sports Illustrated. I was back the week after that game. Greatest moment of my life as an athlete, but the thrill of that whole experience was walking out of that locker room. There was my dad and my mom. My dad walks up to me, my hero. He comes up and just wraps me up in a bear hug. You know how awesome it is? I know you do. To have the greatest moment of your life and there's somebody there to share it with you. Hopefully it's the dad. Hopefully it's a mom. Hopefully it's the spouse. Hopefully it's somebody. But you know what? Just to have a teacher, a coach, someone who's invested in you, and you get to share it with them, that's priceless. Being in that hub. The year before that, we played TCU for homecoming. We're behind 34-7. 11 minutes left to go in the game. We started another amazing comeback. I mean, we scored 3 quick touchdowns. It's now 34-28. We're still behind by 6, but we can somehow get the ball, drive down, somehow score, and then kick in extra points. We could win this game 35-34. We get the ball with a minute and a half left. Start this amazing drive. I'm hitting passes all down the field. We get on the 10-yard line going in the score, 27 seconds left. I threw a pass to a guy on the flat on the sideline over. He catches the ball, and the film showed after the game, if he had just turned up the sideline, he had walked into the end zone and we would have won the game. But for some stupid reason, I'm still in counseling for this. He catches, he breaks in the middle. A clock's run, he's tackled in bounds, seconds left. 6 yards from a victory. I'm thinking, you got to stop the clock. That's what you do, right? Of course, now if you want to stop the clock, you just throw it down. Then you had to throw it past out of bounds. I get the ball, threw it past out of bounds to stop the clock. I did stop the clock. Except it was 4th down. And now, for you non-football types, that's not a good thing. That's a blunder, major mistake. I just got confused. I thought I could waste it down. I just threw the game away. So close to a great victory. You've never lived till you've walked off a football field with 40,000 pairs of eyes that are all looking at you and they're all thinking unchristian things. Lowest moment of my life. I failed. I blew it. Everybody saw me. You can't hide. It's the lead story in the paper, the sports that, everybody's talking about Jeffrey, this mistake. He blew it. I can't believe it. Lowest moment of my life as an athlete. I can't describe what it was like to walk out of that locker room. There's my dad and my mom. And my dad walks up to me and just wraps me up in a bear hug, and my head was on his shoulder just weeping. I was so disappointed. Here's my point. The greatest day of my life as an athlete, when I'm the star, I got that hug. On my worst day as an athlete, when I blew it, when I failed, when the whole world was down on Jeffrey, I still got that hug. That's a powerful thing. I lived through the whole Plano experience in the 80s when they had so many suicides up there. I was actually a student pastor up there and had some kids who went through all that stuff. You know what they say is the last thing a kid thinks before he takes his own life? He thinks this: nobody cares. I got nobody. And they do the unthinkable. The challenge is, you know what? I'm going to love these kids. Somehow, some way, they know I love who I am, I love what I do, and I love sharing this school year with them. Now you could say, hey, there are thousands of kids. What difference does it make? Well, it's like the old guy on the seashore with the starfish, 1,000 of them, throwing them back. They say, what difference does it make? It makes a difference to this one. I am one who wouldn't be this guy if I didn't have teachers and coaches in my life who I heard something from, I caught something from, I saw something in, and felt something from them that powerfully changed my life. I believe you can change the world by changing one kid. This is the year. It's going to be the greatest. God bless you. and make it count. Thank you very much.
Come on, everybody. How about a big hand? Neil Jeffrey, thank you very much. Mr. Jeffrey, outstanding job.
Is that okay? I was so nervous.
All right, everybody, we still have, okay, if you're going to walk out of the auditorium, you're not going to win a prize, so just keep that in mind. Everyone can please be seated as we continue on with our program. The bathrooms are not working. Sit back and turn around, just kidding. Okay, we're going to go back to our highlight video that we have. The great team, our team at KWS put that together. We did have a technical issue with one of our computers, so we're going to go back to finish that video. And so let's lower the lights and watch that video, and then we'll continue on with our program. Thank you.
In one of the most anticipated events in the 2017-2018 school year, history was made at Weslaco ISD as CTE Early College graduated its first ever class. 74 seniors took a chance on what was then a new program, and it all paid off in the end.
You are trailblazers. You have paved the way for many others with your amazing accomplishments. You are the first to earn industry certifications for our district and associate's degree, and that is remarkable.
But all of this isn't possible without the intelligence and hard work of our teachers and administrators impacting all of our students. Weslaco High School English teacher and two-time Teacher of the Year winner, Monica Cifuentes, received statewide recognition as the 2018 High School Teacher of the Year.
The first word that comes to mind is humbling. It's a very humbling title to have. We do what we do because of the love for the profession.
Northbridge Elementary is home to Region 1 Tepson of the Year, an award recognizing the top principal. Longtime WISD educator Dan Buttimer beat out over 300 principals in an area which stretches from Brownsville to Laredo.
Students need us. They need us more in 2018 than they may have ever needed us. Not just principals, but educators in general. And they need us to do things just so they know that we're here for them.
Here are some accolades we'd like to recognize. about to kick off, and with that are some new projects our district is excited about, which will provide a better educational experience for our students. For making Weslaco ISD the right choice.
I'd like to thank Mike Gonzalez and Vinny Berry for putting that together from the KWES staff. Thank you very much, guys. And Darlene Gracia. Thank you for reminding me, Dr. Canales. Thank you, Darlene. All right, up next, I'd like to welcome onto the stage County Commissioner from Precinct 1, David Fuentes.
Good morning. It's wonderful to see the excitement in the school district. It's always great when you guys are back at work. Maybe not for you, but for the community itself, it's always great to see the excitement in kids walking around the school, the city wearing their shirts and having pride in the school they go to. So congratulations, welcome back. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful and restful summer. I wanted to be here today. I was invited to come and just observe, but I asked if I could have just a moment at the microphone because there was some information that I wanted to pass along to you that I thought was really important. A lot of the areas that your schools in particular endured over this last month and a half with the heavy rains, I'm sure affected many of the families and homes that come to your particular schools. You know, back in 2010 when I was teaching, I remember that we had a pretty significant flooding event. And I remember being a teacher, and I remember a memo coming out from the principal saying, please don't give any homework to the kids for the next 5 days. Their beds are floating. They can't get in and out of their homes. Please don't count anybody absent. All of the standard things that we have whenever a tragedy or a big event like this happens, a hurricane usually. And I remember I really didn't quite comprehend that, and I wondered why we couldn't do more. Fast forward a few years, and now I'm in the position where I'm at, and it's my job and responsibility to try to make sure that those types of things don't occur anymore. And I can honestly tell you that with the events, with the amount of rain that we had, our system didn't work. It's not designed to handle that kind of a load. Much like a Houston and a Louisiana, when you have that kind of rain, it just doesn't work. But we have to move forward and we have to continue moving on. The thing that it did do is it did highlight a lot of the need that we have in our area, specifically a lot of the area that you guys serve and a lot of the children that come to your schools. So I wanted to come and I first wanted to, well, I should have welcomed you back, which I did. But secondly, I should have also congratulated you on a fantastic year last year because the grades are reflective of a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, and a lot of progress that is happening. So congratulations to Dr. Canales, to the staff, and to most especially the people that make it happen on a day-to-day basis in the classroom. Congratulations to all of you. Your hard work is paying off, and the grades that are being shown out there by TEA and the quality of education that a child can get here at Weslaco ISD. So congratulations to all of you. So one of the things that I do as county commissioner is because of my background in education, I know that the summer leadership conference that's held in June in San Antonio is a time where a lot of the school board members are able to go up there and get continuing education, to talk about bonds, to talk about new curriculum, changes, responsibilities, due diligence, all of the types of things that we have to learn as school board members. But it also serves as a great platform for a lot of people to come together and share ideas. And as a county commissioner, what I've done is created a Precinct 1 luncheon for all of the school districts. I invite the superintendents and I invite the school board members to come and discuss ideas. And a lot of times, just like with other things, we go through the motions and we just say, yeah, but this is a nice workshop, it's a best practices thing, and maybe I'll use it. Well, we really came to find out during this event how critical a relationship between the county and the school was. We talked to Dr. Canales at least 10 to 12 different times about ways that the county and the school could work together. We were able to open up a shelter at Mary Hope Middle School. Thank you to Pablo Vallejo for allowing Rubicon. Team Rubicon, which is former military that have retired and come and do service. They were housed at Mary Hope Middle School for about a month or so. and they were able to help a lot of the families in that distressed area. So thank you to him. Also, thank you to Mr. Vallejo again and to Ms. Linda Hernandez. We were able to use Maryhill Middle School and Ibarra Elementary for food distribution and for cleaning supplies that were necessary to distribute to the affected families. We chose those two schools because those were the areas where we had the most significant flooding. And what we did is we actually used the phone infrastructure that you had and the outreach, and they were able and willing to share that information by calling the students through your robocall and telling them, we have help for you here. We have food and we have cleaning supplies, and shelter is around the corner if you need it. So those ideas that sometimes we just tend to overlook because it's just, we're going through the motions, this really helped us. And it really helped a lot of the children in your area. We served over 4,000 families and people in just the 3 food distributions that we did in your area. But that's not the answer, that's not the solution. We applied for an $11.5 million grant to create some local reservoir systems right outside of Maryhill Middle School. And we're going to try to create a bypass for that area so that area never floods again. We've already been approved for the first phase of that application. And with some help from our state legislators, including Mando Martinez, we are now at phase 2. We are hopeful that once FEMA declares this a public assistance area, that grant will become available to us and you'll see us start working right away. In addition to that, we've identified about $166 million worth of drainage projects that are necessary for our area. That includes all of Precinct 1, not just Weslaco, but we will make sure to touch all of the lives and the affected areas, the most affected areas, the south, the north, the east, and the west, and we'll try to make sure to cover all of you guys. So I wanted to thank you again, Doctor. I wanted to thank Mr. Vallejo and Ms. Hernandez for helping us during that very critical time. We also used Maryhill Middle School as a detention facility. We were able to pump some water out of the ditch into Maryhill's empty space to try to clear up some ditch space so that we could let more water continue to flow out of our system and try to relieve some of the flooding that was in the Las Brisas and Chapa area right next to Maryhill Middle School. So it was really important for me to be here at this particular session because of Maryhill and Ibarra being here. Thank you to your staff for opening up your campuses and allowing us to work with you. It is extremely critical for the city, the school, and the county to all work together because the strength of all of us coming together, we will be able to find very, very real solutions for our area and the ones that will most affect your children and the families that you serve. God bless each and every one of you, and good luck. Have a fantastic school year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fuentes. Now, last year, Assistant Superintendent Sergio Garcia and Martin Rodriguez from the Custodial Department visited with campuses to see what they can do to help improve the cleanliness of the schools. So recommendations were made to the principal and staff, and there were plenty of follow-up visits as well. And after visiting with schools several times, Mr. Garcia and Mr. Rodriguez decided on one school that will receive the Clean Campus Award. And so now we're here to announce that award. They're going to receive a plaque. So I will let you know the Cleanest Campus Award, and that award goes to Sam Houston Elementary. Congratulations. They'll be here in the afternoon, so. I know, right? It's kind of anticlimactic, but we wanted to announce it to you guys as well. Now, next year, during convocation, we'll have more awards to give away. Okay, so let's take a look at the campus awards for next year. One of them will be the highest staff attendance award. Woo! So your principal is going to be making sure you come to work, folks. Highest student attendance award. We work on that all the time, either way. We'll do the Clean Campus Award again. We will also have the Most Improved Star Performance Award. Okay. And we'll have the Most Distinction Designations Received Award. And then we'll have the Best Customer Service Award. Okay, now the Best Customer Service Award, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use secret shoppers. Yeah, so we'll be going to visit your reception area and visiting your school, taking some notes, and then reporting back to the committee. So that should be fun. How does that sound? Does that sound good, guys? Y'all ready? All right, how about if we give away some prizes now? All right, so here we go. We have everybody's name here, and we have plenty of prizes to give away. Let's have a little bit of music, Joe, so that we can get everybody pumped up. We're gonna start off.
Staff members.
We're gonna start off. How about Callista Robledo, my daughter, doing a great job here. Thank you. We're gonna start off with a $50 gift card from Academy. So Callista, $50 gift card from Academy.
And the winner is Alyssa Aguilar from Northbridge Elementary.
Come on, Alyssa. Your prizes are right over here. Let's turn off the lights, Joe. Congratulations. We have plenty of prizes to give away. Up next, a $50 gift card from Barbecuties. $50 worth of food.
And the winner is Josefina Valerias from Custodian Central Office.
Josefina Valderas, are you here? Custodian? All right, we'll put that here. Next, we have a 32-inch Samsung HD TV donated by Jeff Everett and Associates Incorporated. 32-inch Samsung HD TV, and that goes to
Enrique Gonzalez from Weslaco East High School.
Big Screen TV. All right, up next, we have a Kendra Scott necklace.
Everyone loves those. And the winner is Guadalupe Gonzalez from Weslaco East High School.
So here, up next, I'd like for y'all to take a look at this over here. This is a Texas flag frame, and this is from Coastal Americana Living. This is very nice.
And the winner is Monica Garcia from Rico Elementary.
Up next, we have a $10 Cinemark gift card, also with a $20 gift card from Arturo, so a little gift pack here, and that goes to
Alondro Cavazos, Cuellar Middle School.
Go Arnold. Okay, up next, we have Amari Soap Product Basket and a $10 gift card from Whataburger. Amari Soap Products Basket and a $10 gift card from Whataburger.
And the winner is Priscilla Bettis from Margot Elementary.
All right, up next, a $50 gift card from Sephora. $50 gift card, that's a lot of lipstick.
And the winner is Jesus Ramos from Weslaco East High School.
Mr. Ramos here. All right, let's move on. We got a polo shirt from the athletic department. along with a $25 Chick-fil-A gift card.
And we have Ernesto Desdiga from Cuellar Middle School.
Up next, we have a Tio Roberto's assortment of jams and jellies and a $35 hair tricks package. And that goes to
Raul Cantu, Weslaco East High School.
All right, let's fix that basket a little bit. All right. I know some schools are wondering. Okay, up next we have a round of golf from Tierra Santa with a $50 gift card to Marshall's, TJ Maxx, or Home Goods Store.
And the winner is Janet Cavazos from Margot Elementary.
We have a gift package from Kendra Scott and Waterford. Another Kendra Scott package in Waterford.
And the winner is Erasmo Garces from Roosevelt Elementary.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to Starbucks. $25 gift card.
The winner is Maria Vihibonada from Weslaco East High School.
Weslaco East High School is winning all the prizes. Let's mix that up a little bit more. Got to get the elementaries and the middle schools involved.
And Margot too. Margot's won quite a lot.
All right, here we go. A polo shirt from the athletic department once again, and a $25 gift certificate to Taqueria El Compadre. A lot of tacos.
The winner is Jose Jamono from Rico Elementary.
Up next, we have a $50 gift certificate from Lowe's. $50 gift certificate from Lowe's. $50.
And the winner is Olivia Aguilar from Cuellar Middle School.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card from Bath & Body Works, donated by Busy Bristles. $25 gift card, Bath & Body Works.
And the winner is Gabriela Rivas from Northbridge Elementary.
Up next, we have a round of golf with cart to Tierra Santa and a $25 Visa gift card from Embroidery Express.
Don't want these names to fall out. Okay, the winner is David Castro from Weslaco East High School.
Up next, a $25 gift card to Chili's.
And the winner is Alberto Gonzalez from Mary Hogue Middle School.
Up next, we have a $250 gift certificate from BSN Sports. You can go online to order your merchandise, and this is donated, and this is given to us by Dr. Canales.
And the winner is Jose Sanchez from Margot Elementary.
Up next, we have a $25 gift card to the Blue Onion. $25 gift card to the Blue Onion.
And the winner is Esmeralda Weaver from Margot Elementary.
We got three more prizes to give away. We have a $50 certificate to Double Cross Barbecue. $50.
And the winner is Brenda Amadillo from Northbridge Elementary.
Up next, we have a $50 gift certificate to Cortino's Italian Restaurant. $50 gift certificate.
And the winner is Nidia de los Santos from Ibarra Elementary.
All right, now we have another television to give away, and this will be our final prize for this morning. And this is a 32-inch HD TV donated by Guerra Funeral Home.
And for the final prize for this morning's convocation goes to Merced Villarreal, State Compensatory Education. She's not here today.
We know Merced, she'll get the prize.
She'll find the TV.
Right, Norma?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like that was our last giveaway. Oh, you'll find another TV. But that was our last giveaway, folks. But before we leave you today, we want everyone to sit back, think about this upcoming school year, and to dream a million dreams.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy.
They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care, so call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong. Say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see.
How about a big hand for these kids, WISD kids? How about we give them a standing ovation? Thank you very much, Ron Bissett, Fine Arts Coordinator, for putting our finale together. Thank you, everybody. Have a good morning, and thank you for making WISD the right choice.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Someone